In 2017, I received an email with a photograph of the back of this postcard saying, "Hi, we sent this a long time ago. Thought you might want to get it back." It was an email from this person I had never met. And so I wrote back and I said, essentially, who the hell are you? And how did you find a postcard I sent to my film teacher 30 years earlier almost? My name is Dan Andries. I live right outside Chicago. My connection to the hobby is that I'm a documentary filmmaker. I got fascinated with stamp design through meeting one of the USPS art directors, and I'm working on a documentary about stamps and their importance in our culture. Yeah, their beauty.
Terrific. So no pressure on me here. Okay,
No.
Fantastic. So you've brought an item.
Yes.
What exactly have you brought?
This is a postcard. It's mailed in the early 1980s, but it was mailed from New York City to my first important film teacher, who was living back in Chicago. I studied film in Chicago for a little while, then I went to New York University, and I was writing him a postcard telling him how it was going, because he wrote me a beautiful letter of recommendation. And he was a very esteemed teacher and documentary filmmaker, actually. So this postcard, I loved postcards at the time. I mailed them like mad. This is an Eadweard Muybridge print. And Muybridge was one of the pioneers of capturing motion on film. And what he did is he would set up a number of cameras and he would film like a horse running by, hit by tripwires, so you could capture the horse. It's about repetition, it's about serial, it's about movement, it's about film, frame by frame by frame. So I wrote to Michael, my teacher. I'm gonna take it off of here and turn it over. The first year at New York University is through. I've shot 2 films as cinematographer, wrote 2 for other directors, assistant directed on another. The whole process has been infinitely more painful than I ever imagined, and somehow equally as satisfying. I live in Brooklyn near the East River, and I'm longing to get back to Manhattan. Have another year and a half of studies. We'll be in touch. Thanks for all the help, Dan Andries. It looks like I sent this in January of 1983. And, you know, it's postmarked out of New York, where I mailed it. And there's a Crazy Horse stamp, 13-cent Crazy Horse stamp in the corner. And it's a single color. It's monochromatic. It's red. I just love that it showed a Native American chieftain, a famous one. That's a Crazy Horse. So off it goes. In 2017, I received an email with a photograph of the back of this postcard saying, "Hi, we sent this a long time ago. Thought you might want to get it back. Hope all is well. I understand it was hard beginning, but congrats on all the good work you're doing. Signed, Jenny K." It was an email from this person I had never met. And so I wrote back and I said, essentially, who the hell are you? And how did you find a postcard I sent to my film teacher? God, was that 30 years earlier almost? Something like that, right? And she said she found it at a flea market in the Southwest. I go to see my film teacher and I say, "I sent you this." And guess what? It came back to me from this woman who found it in a flea market. And my teacher's wife walks in, Nancy, she's a lovely woman, and says, "Oh my God, yeah, I collected a lot of postcards. They were collecting them for a charity. You could donate them. They were going to sell them to raise money. I just grabbed a whole bunch of old postcards, gave them to this person. They ended up in this bin in a resale, because she's kind of a collector, Jenny K is, and she picked it up there and sent it back to me, and it was a full circle thing." Michael, at that point, this is about 9 years ago, owned his own camera, was retired, so we ought to make a movie about this together. The idea of making a movie with Michael about this was beyond terrifying to me. We didn't have any time to make it, but it's a really amazing sort of male story, a postcard art story. Michael passed away last year, but not before I finished the documentary that drew on footage that he had helped nurture in another documentary. And so I had this chance to reconnect with him and bring it to premieres and to spend time with him at the end of his life. And he was a great teacher of mine. And this is a wild story. And Jenny is now a friend of mine.
That's something special.
It is.
And I think it's just even also the nature of the postcard is deeply personal and special in that sense. It's not just a greetings from Postcard. It's a very special postcard. It connects to, your career, and you got it back.
Our documentary is called The Tiny But Mighty Postage Stamp. We have been filming here at the Boston the Stamp Expo 2026 for a few days now. We're capturing what's happening here, the way people work with stamps, interact with stamps. We're focused on the art directors, so we've been capturing some footage with Ethel Kessler, Derry Noyes, and Antonio Alcala. It's got a website. You might want to check it out. So we're going to go do one more shoot in DC and then make a short that we use to raise a lot more money that will be much more public.
Thank you for sharing this incredible story, and good luck with everything, and enjoy the rest of the show and the filming.
Thank you. Thank you for your good work.